Hello, everybody. Let's learn about Botpress and Zapier. So we're in Botpress dashboard. Let's start off by adding Zapier integration. Go to Browse Help, click on Zapier. First, make sure you obtain access by clicking on this link. So it says you've been invited to Zapier. Then scroll down a little, accept invite, and build a Zap. Brings you to Zapier dashboard. And then make sure you install to the chatbot you want to. Once the installation is done, if you go back to our integration tab, you can see Zapier is added now. So make sure to enable it, save configuration. We have the webhook URL, which we're going to use in a second. At this point, maybe we can go to the studio and work on the first scenario. First scenario would be where we use Botpress as a trigger in Zapier, meaning we want to send information from Botpress to Zapier. So I have built this sample chat flow where we have, a first name, and then we have email, say with workflow email and workflow company name. And then let me delete this. And then when we have added, we want to send this information to Zapier. So let me just add the node. You go here under execute, you can see send to Zapier. So trigger data to send to Zapier. If you want to send one single piece of data, so you can just save it as it's saved as a variable, right? So just workflow and you just send it. But if it's multiple values, what you need to do is you need something like this, where you need to JSON.stringify the data so you can send multiple. I put everything in the description below. So you have JSON.stringify. My variable one is first name, 2 is email, and variable 3 would be company name. So let's go ahead and create a Zap in Zapier real quick. So we go to Zapier, create a new Zap, trigger. For the trigger, you want to select Botpress. Botpress latest by invite. Then you want to select the events, trigger received, continue. If you have the account set up, you can just continue. And for the trigger webhook URL, let's go back to integration tab, copy the webhook URL, go to Zapier and paste it right in there. Click continue. And for the test, let's go and actually send some information. So in the emulator inside Botpress, you can just type hi. My first name would be this, my email. This is my email, and this is the company name. And if you go to Zapier now, we must have received the information. Let's see. Yes, so as you can see, we have the variables, my variable one. And so once you have the information right here, basically the sky is the limit. So as an action, just as a test, we want to send it to Google Sheets, let's say. So I select Google Sheets. And then for the events, maybe create a spreadsheet row, then continue the account, and maybe you can, whether it's whatever action you want to select, you can do it inside Zapier. So I'm just sending the information to Google Sheets to demonstrate how you can send separate values. And I'm just going to select the worksheet. And okay, now you have here, so for the first name, I have my variable, my first name can go here. And then, so we have the first name, company name, just click and drop it there. For the email, you can send the email. And, as you did, spreadsheet has a lot of columns, but we're just testing with 3 first values. So basically, once you have this one set up, click continue, test the step, and now this should send information, boom, right there. So this is how we use Botpress as trigger. Now let's see how to use it as in an action step. Now let's learn the other way around, assuming in a case we want to send information from Zapier to Botpress. So Botpress is the trigger step. As a matter of fact, if you go and click on trigger in Botpress, you can see actually you have Zapier new event from Zapier trigger is added. So we need to go to Zapier and create a new Zapier. Let's say our trigger step is again the Google Sheets. We want to send the information added to a Google Sheet to Botpress and do whatever we want with that information. So what I'm going to do is search for just Google Sheets, and then let's say my event would be new or updated spreadsheet row. You have your account connected, and you select the right spreadsheet, the worksheet, trigger column. I leave it as any column. And if I click continue, and let's see if I test the trigger, if it passes the information. Yes, you can see we have the information here. So I have first name, company name, and email. In order to send multiple values back to Botpress, we need to add a little bit of code in between. So I'm just going to click on Code by Zapier, and we want to run JavaScript. Again, if it's a single value, you don't need this step. Skip and directly send it to Botpress. If you want to send multiple values though, which in this case we're doing name, which is user's first name, and then we're also doing email, which is this one, and then we're doing company name. This is a company name. And we need to construct an object and stringify it, right? So for the code, I put everything in the description below of this video, but our code is going to be basically a JavaScript code like this, where you construct all the your input data and your output data, and that would be it. So if I click continue now, and let's see if I test the step. So it's working. You can see we are able to pass all the information in a separate variables, which is crucial in real life scenarios. Whatever system you're using, you almost always deal with multiple variables and value names. Now we can actually go ahead and add Botpress step. So we select Botpress. The event is send an event, obviously. You click continue. We already went through the authorization. Webhook URL, let's go and grab the URL, come back here, give it to Zapier. Events data is basically these three pieces of information we're sending. So we're sending name, we're sending company name, and we're also sending email. You can have correlation ID. Like for example, you can have a variable dedicated for this. So make sure it's optional. I just leave it as empty now. So if I click continue and test step, successful. So if I go to Botpress now and on the trigger step, if you click on this little bot now up there and you discover events, we should be able to see our information here. So we have passed the information successfully from Zapier to Botpress. And now as a final piece, in order to use this information in a variable, what you need to do is you add an execute code step. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to workflow Zapier data event payload, right? So, and then I'm going to, so make sure I have a workflow created named Zapier data. It's a workflow string type add. And now if I add a standard node, and if let's say it's a text and I say workflow.zapierData, let's see if it works. So I'm going to here event to trigger. Let's save this event and use it as a trigger. So trigger this event. And if I go to emulator, yes, you can see it passes the information in the not the best format. We can get rid of the curly braces and the quotation marks by adding. I would add an AI step right after the code. step to make them in a nice format. But basically, this is how you connect. You use Botpress as an action step with Zapier to send information from Zapier to Botpress. I hope you guys liked this video. Like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.